What if I told you that the most powerful tool you possess isn't your skills, your education, or even your opportunities, but your mindset? Your mindset is the invisible force that shapes your reality. It determines how you respond to challenges, how you seize chances, and ultimately, how you create your future. Think about it. Every day you wake up with thousands of thoughts. Some lift you up, some pull you down. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often lies in one simple truth: mastery of their mindset. Mastering your mindset means choosing what you focus on. It means training your brain to see possibilities where others see obstacles. It means rewiring your habits so that setbacks don't break you, they teach you. It's about cultivating resilience when the world tries to convince you that you can't, and instead saying, watch me. The way you think, the mindset you hold, is the invisible lens through which you experience the world. It shapes every aspect of your life, whether you realize it or not. Your mindset influences how you interpret events, how you react to challenges, and ultimately, the reality you create for yourself. It is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. Imagine two people facing the same problem: losing a job, failing an exam, or dealing with a personal setback. One sees it as a devastating blow, a confirmation of their limitations, and sinks into discouragement. The other views it as a temporary hurdle, a chance to learn and grow, and moves forward with determination. What's the difference? It's their mindset. Your mindset filters your experiences. It decides what you notice and what you ignore, what you amplify and what you dismiss. When your mindset is fixed, believing that your abilities, intelligence, and potential are set in stone, you limit yourself. You become trapped by fear of failure and hesitation. You stop trying new things because you believe you're not capable. This kind of thinking narrows your world and closes the door to opportunities. On the other hand, a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence, opens your mind to possibility. It encourages curiosity, experimentation, and resilience. When you embrace this mindset, failure becomes feedback, not a final verdict. Obstacles transform into stepping stones, and setbacks become powerful lessons. The reality you experience is a direct reflection of these internal beliefs. Your thoughts influence your emotions, which then influence your actions. If you think you will fail, you feel anxious or discouraged, and your actions often reflect that doubt. But if you think success is possible, you feel motivated and confident, leading to actions that bring you closer to your goals. This cycle continuously reinforces itself. Science supports this idea. Studies in psychology show that people with positive, resilient mindsets tend to cope better with stress and recover faster from adversity. The brain's ability to change and rewire itself means your mindset is not fixed. You can literally change the way your brain works by changing your thoughts and habits. Your mindset also shapes your relationships. When you believe people are trustworthy and situations are hopeful, you're more open, generous, and collaborative. When you expect conflict or rejection, you become guarded and distant, often creating the very outcomes you fear. Your mindset acts like a self-fulfilling prophecy, influencing not just how you see the world, but how the world responds to you. Moreover, mindset affects your long-term vision and purpose. People with a clear, optimistic mindset are more likely to set ambitious goals and take consistent steps toward them. They believe their efforts will pay off, so they persist even when progress is slow. Those with a limiting mindset tend to give up early, convinced that their destiny is predetermined. The power of mindset is especially evident in moments of crisis or change. When life throws unexpected challenges your way, your mindset determines whether you collapse under pressure or rise to meet it. Those who master their mindset develop emotional strength and clarity. They pause, reassess, and choose their next move consciously rather than reacting out of fear or frustration. It's important to understand that mastering your mindset doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your attitudes, your responses, and letting go of what you cannot control. It means cultivating hope, courage, and determination in the face of uncertainty. Ultimately, the reality you live is not just a matter of circumstances, but a product of your mindset. When you begin to see your thoughts as the architects of your experience, you reclaim your power. You stop being a passive observer of life's events and become an active creator of your future. So ask yourself, what kind of reality am I building with my mindset today? Am I focusing on limitations or am I embracing possibility? The answers you give will shape the life you lead, because when you master your mindset, You don't just change your thinking, you change your reality. One of the most empowering truths you can embrace is that your mindset is a choice. No matter where you come from, what challenges you face, or how your past has shaped you, you have the power to decide how you think about yourself and your circumstances. This simple realization shifts everything because it puts control squarely in your hands. In first glance, it might feel like your mindset is something fixed, something you inherit or develop without much say. Maybe you grew up hearing limiting messages, or maybe life's hardships have worn you down. It's easy to believe that your mindset is something that just is, that you either have a positive or negative outlook naturally. But the truth is far more liberating. Mindset is not a fixed trait. It's a series of decisions you make every day. Every moment you face choices about how to interpret your experiences. When you wake up in the morning, you can choose to focus on what's wrong or what's possible. When you encounter setbacks, you can choose to see them as failures or lessons. When others doubt you, you can either absorb that doubt or refuse to let it define your self-worth. These decisions create the mental habits that form your mindset. Choosing your mindset means understanding that you have control over your thoughts, even when external circumstances are beyond your control. Life will throw obstacles your way, there's no avoiding that, but how you respond mentally is always a choice. You can't always change what happens to you, but you can choose how you interpret it and how you move forward. This is why mindset is often described as a form of personal power. When you choose a mindset of growth, resilience, and optimism, you're actively deciding to shape your reality in a way that serves you. When you choose a mindset of victimhood, defeat, or fear, you're handing away your power and allowing external factors to dictate your experience. Making this choice isn't always easy. It requires awareness and effort. Most people don't realize that they're stuck in unhelpful thinking patterns until those patterns become clear. The first step is to recognize that your thoughts aren't facts. They're interpretations. You can challenge and change them. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," pause and ask, "Is that really true? Where's the evidence? Could I instead think, I'm learning and improving every day?" Choosing to replace limiting thoughts with empowering ones is a daily practice that builds a stronger, healthier mindset. It's important to be patient with yourself during this process. Changing your mindset doesn't happen overnight. It's like training a muscle. You need repetition, consistency, and kindness toward yourself. You will slip into old ways of thinking sometimes. The key is to keep choosing differently each time you notice. Choosing your mindset also means choosing what you surround yourself with. The people, media, and environments you engage with influence your mental habits. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, or toxic influences, it becomes harder to maintain a positive, growth-oriented mindset. By choosing uplifting influences, people who encourage you, information that inspires you, and habits that build you up, you make it easier to maintain the mindset you want. When you fully embrace that mindset as a choice, you begin to reclaim your agency over your life story. You stop blaming circumstances or other people for your thoughts and feelings. Instead, you become the author of your inner narrative. This shift brings freedom and responsibility at the same time. Freedom because you know you can change, and responsibility because you know it's up to you to do the work. The choice to master your mindset is not a one-time decision. It's a daily commitment to show up for yourself differently. When you make this choice again and again, you build momentum. You start to notice that challenges don't derail you as much, setbacks don't discourage you as deeply, and opportunities become clearer. Ultimately, the choice to cultivate a powerful mindset is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. It affects how you feel, how you act, and how far you go. It determines whether you live a life shaped by fear and limitation or one driven by possibility and growth. So today, choose your mindset. Choose to see yourself as capable, resilient, and worthy of success. Choose to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your attitude, your actions. When you do this, you don't just change your thinking, you change your life. Your mindset isn't something you're simply born with and stuck with for life. It's not a fixed trait written in stone. Instead, it's something you can actively shape, develop, and train over time. Just like building physical strength or learning a new skill, mastering your mindset requires consistent effort and practice. This means that no matter where you are today, you have the potential to change how you think, feel, and respond to the world. Think about athletes and performers. They don't just rely on natural talent. They train their bodies, their techniques, and equally important, their minds. They develop mental toughness, focus, and resilience through deliberate practice. The same principle applies to your mindset. It's a muscle that grows stronger the more you work on it. Training your mindset means developing habits of thought that serve your growth instead of holding you back. It involves intentionally cultivating optimism, self-belief, and perseverance. It means practicing how to respond to setbacks with curiosity instead of defeat, how to reframe challenges as opportunities instead of threats, and how to stay focused on your goals even when distractions and doubts arise. Now, one of the first steps in training your mindset is becoming aware of your current mental patterns. Most of us have automatic thoughts that run in the background, influencing how we feel and act. Some of these thoughts are helpful and empowering, while others can be limiting and self-sabotaging. The key is to learn how to catch those negative or unhelpful thoughts as they occur and gently redirect your mind toward more constructive perspectives. For example, when you find yourself thinking, "I can't do this," try training your mind to replace it with, "I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm learning." This simple shift isn't about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to see potential rather than defeat. Over time, this practice rewires your brain, creating new neural pathways that support confidence and growth. Another powerful aspect of mindset training is developing emotional resilience. Life will always bring challenges, but how you respond to them can be shaped by the mindset you cultivate. By training yourself to stay calm, composed, and solution-focused in difficult situations, you become stronger mentally. You learn that setbacks don't define you, and difficulties become opportunities to build character and skills. Consistency is the secret to effective mindset training. Just like going to the gym regularly strengthens your muscles, daily mental practices build your mindset strength. This can include habits such as journaling positive reflections, practicing gratitude, setting clear intentions for the day, or engaging in mindful meditation to calm and center your thoughts. These small daily rituals reinforce positive thinking patterns and create a foundation for lasting change. It's also important to recognize that training your mindset is a journey, not a destination. You won't become mentally unstoppable overnight. There will be days when negative thoughts creep back in, or when motivation wanes. That's perfectly normal. What matters is your willingness to keep coming back to the practice, to treat each day as a new opportunity to strengthen your mental habits. You can also train your mindset by seeking out environments and people that challenge and inspire you. Surround yourself with those who encourage growth and believe in possibility. Exposure to new ideas, perspectives, and challenges pushes your thinking beyond comfort zones and helps you develop a mindset that embraces learning and change. As you commit to training your mindset, you'll start noticing subtle but profound shifts in your life. You'll become more confident in your ability to handle adversity. You'll find yourself more motivated to pursue your goals and more patient with the process. You'll begin to see setbacks as temporary, not permanent, and challenges as invitations to improve. But ultimately, training your mindset is one of the most empowering investments you can make in yourself. It means you don't have to be a victim of circumstance or limited by past experiences. Instead, you become the architect of your mental world, the person who chooses how to think, feel, and act in every situation. Remember, mastery of mindset is not about perfection, but progress. It's about making the conscious choice every day to nurture thoughts and attitudes that lift you higher. With patience, persistence, and purpose, you can train your mind to be your greatest ally on the path to success and fulfillment. The stories we tell ourselves are some of the most powerful forces shaping our lives. They are the narratives running in our minds, the explanations, judgments, and beliefs we hold about who we are, what we're capable of, and what the world expects from us. These internal stories influence not only how we see ourselves, but also how we behave and the results we achieve. From a young age, we begin crafting stories about our identity based on experiences, feedback from others, and the environment around us. These stories might be about our talents, our worth, our limitations, or our potential. For example, if as a child you were told you were not good at math, you may have internalized that belief and told yourself, "I'm just not a math person." Over time, this story shapes your attitude toward learning math, leading to anxiety or avoidance, which then reinforces the story as truth. What's crucial to understand is that these stories are not objective facts. They are subjective interpretations, meaning they are created in your mind. This means they can be changed. Yet many people live their entire lives trapped by stories that limit them, believing those stories to be absolute truth. These narratives become self-fulfilling prophecies, controlling actions and closing off possibilities. The stories we tell ourselves matter because they influence our mindset. If your story is one of limitation, I'm not smart enough, I'll never succeed, people like me don't get opportunities, then your mindset will align with these beliefs. You'll approach life cautiously, avoid risks, and unconsciously make choices that confirm your story. On the other hand, if your story is one of growth, I can learn anything I want, failures are just lessons, I deserve success. You open the door to possibility and perseverance. Changing your story begins with awareness. The first step is to listen carefully to the narrative playing in your mind. What messages are you repeating to yourself? Are they encouraging or discouraging? Are they based on facts or assumptions? This kind of self-reflection allows you to identify limiting stories that hold you back. Once you recognize these stories, you have the power to rewrite them. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means consciously choosing to interpret your experiences in a way that empowers you. Instead of telling yourself, I failed, so I'm not capable, you can tell yourself, I failed, but I'm learning what doesn't work, and that brings me closer to success. This shift in narrative changes how you feel and how you act, creating a positive feedback loop that propels you forward. The stories we tell ourselves also shape our emotional landscape. Negative stories breed fear, anxiety, and self-doubt, while positive stories foster confidence, hope, and motivation. When you control your narrative, you control your emotional state. This control is essential because emotions drive action. If you believe you are worthy and capable, you are more likely to take bold steps toward your goals. Another reason these stories matter is that they affect how you relate to others in the world. If your story is one of scarcity, there's not enough for me, I'm not as good as others, you may approach relationships and opportunities with jealousy or fear. If your story is one of abundance, there is enough success for everyone. I bring unique value, you interact with generosity and confidence. Changing your story is an ongoing practice. It requires patience and persistence. Old narratives are deeply ingrained, and your mind naturally reverts to familiar patterns. That's why it's helpful to use tools like affirmations, journaling, or coaching to reinforce new empowering stories. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who believe in your new narrative can also accelerate this transformation. Ultimately, the stories you tell yourself shape the life you live. They determine the limits you set, the opportunities you seize, and the impact you make. When you master the art of storytelling in your mind, you take ownership of your identity and your destiny. So take a moment today to ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? Is it one that lifts me up or holds me back? And if it's the latter, what new story can I begin to tell? One that reflects my potential, resilience, and worth. The power to change your life begins with the stories you choose to believe. Mastering your mindset is one of the most powerful ways to take control of your life. It means stepping into the driver's seat of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, rather than letting them be dictated by external circumstances or automatic reactions. When you master your mindset, you reclaim your power to shape your experience and design the life you want. Life is unpredictable. Challenges, setbacks, and unexpected changes will always arise. The question isn't whether difficulties will come, but how you respond to them. Mastering your mindset means choosing to respond with clarity, confidence, and purpose instead of confusion, fear, or helplessness. It's about understanding that while you can't always control what happens, you can control how you think about it and what you do next. Taking control through mindset mastery starts with awareness. The first step is becoming conscious of your thoughts, those running silently in the background, because they influence everything you do. Without awareness, your mind often operates on autopilot, repeating old patterns that may no longer serve you. Mastery means interrupting those patterns and replacing them with intentional thoughts aligned with your goals. When you take control of your mindset, you decide what deserves your attention. You learn to filter out distractions, doubts, and negativity. Instead of letting fear or anxiety dictate your decisions, you choose to focus on what you can influence and what moves you forward. This focus brings clarity and energy, allowing you to act decisively, even in uncertain situations. Mastery also means embracing responsibility for your emotions. Many people believe that their feelings are caused by others or external events. While circumstances do affect us, how we interpret and react to those circumstances is within our control. When you master your mindset, you choose your emotional responses, rather than being swept away by them. This emotional intelligence empowers you to stay calm, think clearly, and make better decisions. Another key aspect of taking control through mindset mastery is shifting from a victim mentality to an owner mentality. Victims see themselves as powerless, blaming outside forces for their problems. Owners acknowledge challenges, but focus on what they can do to improve the situation. This shift in perspective changes everything. When you see yourself as the owner of your mindset, you stop waiting for things to happen and start making things happen. Mastering your mindset also means committing to continuous growth. Taking control isn't about being perfect or having all the answers. It's about being willing to learn, adapt, and improve. It's about recognizing that setbacks aren't failures, but opportunities to refine your approach. When you adopt this mindset, you become resilient and proactive, bouncing back stronger from difficulties. Taking control through mindset mastery impacts not only your inner world, but also your relationships and opportunities. When you show up with confidence and clarity, you inspire trust and respect. You're more likely to attract positive influences and create environments that support your growth. People respond to your energy, and a strong mindset projects leadership and vision. But it's important to realize that mastering your mindset is a daily practice. You won't gain control once and for all, then coast forever. Life's complexity and challenges require ongoing effort to stay centered and intentional. This means regularly checking in with your thoughts, refocusing your attention, and renewing your commitment to growth. One practical way to take control is by setting clear intentions each day. When you decide how you want to think, feel, and act before the day begins, you guide your mindset toward purposeful action. Meditation, journaling, or simple reflection can help you cultivate this awareness. Over time, these habits build mental discipline and empower you to lead your life rather than be led by it. Mastering your mindset also means cultivating gratitude and optimism. When you focus on what's working and what's possible, you create positive momentum. Gratitude shifts your attention from scarcity to abundance, from problems to solutions. Optimism fuels perseverance, giving you the energy to keep going even when progress feels slow. Ultimately, mastering your mindset is about owning your life story. It's about saying, I am the author of my experience. When you take control of your mindset, you decide the narrative, the meaning, and the direction of your life. You move from reacting to creating, from surviving to thriving. So ask yourself, are you willing to take control of your mindset today? Are you ready to stop letting circumstances dictate your life and start steering your own course? Master your mindset, and you master your destiny. Because control isn't about controlling everything around you, it's about controlling how you show up, think, and act in every moment. When we think about creating the future we want, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the big picture, the major goals, the milestones, the life-changing moments. But the truth is, it's not the giant leaps alone that shape our destiny. It's the small, consistent actions we take every day that build the foundation for lasting success and growth. Your future is created not just by what you do once in a while, but by what you do consistently. Every meaningful achievement, no matter how impressive, began with a single, small step. Whether it's mastering a skill, improving your health, building a relationship, or advancing your career, the path forward is paved with daily habits and choices. These small actions may seem insignificant in isolation, but over time, their cumulative effect is enormous. Consider this. If you improve by just 1% every day, that improvement compounds. After 1 year, you will be nearly 37 times better than when you started. Conversely, neglecting small actions or making poor choices daily can compound in the opposite direction. This is the power of consistency. Small efforts repeated daily lead to extraordinary results. The beauty of focusing on small daily actions is that they are manageable and accessible. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike or for perfect conditions to take action. Small steps require less energy and create less resistance, making it easier to begin and maintain momentum. Once you start, the process becomes self-reinforcing as progress breeds motivation. One of the key advantages of small daily actions is that they build habits. Habits are the brain's way of conserving energy by automating repeated behaviors. When positive habits take root, your mind no longer has to struggle with discipline or willpower to perform the action. Instead, it becomes second nature, freeing your mental energy for higher level thinking and creativity. This means that your daily actions shape not only your external reality, but also your internal landscape. With consistent effort, you develop discipline, patience, and resilience. You learn to trust the process and embrace the journey rather than obsess over instant results. These qualities become essential as you face inevitable challenges and setbacks. All daily actions also provide immediate feedback and a sense of accomplishment, which fuels further progress. When you complete even a minor task aligned with your goals, your brain releases dopamine, a feel-good chemical that encourages you to keep going. This positive reinforcement builds confidence and helps you overcome procrastination and doubt. Importantly, small actions allow you to stay flexible and adapt as you go. Since each step is manageable, you can adjust your approach based on what works and what doesn't. This iterative process helps you learn, improve, and avoid burnout. Instead of being paralyzed by the enormity of a big goal, you focus on what's possible today. Another crucial benefit is that small daily actions build momentum. Momentum is the force that carries you forward even when motivation wanes. It's what transforms fleeting inspiration into sustained effort. When you're consistent, progress becomes visible and your commitment deepens. Momentum creates a positive cycle that propels you toward your vision. This principle applies to all areas of life. If you want to improve your health, start with simple daily choices. Drink more water, take a short walk, or add 1 serving of vegetables. If you want to advance your career, commit to learning something new every day or networking with one person. If you want to grow emotionally, practice gratitude or mindfulness for a few minutes each day. These small steps add up. It's important to be patient and gentle with yourself. Change doesn't happen overnight. Small actions require time to accumulate and reveal their impact. Celebrate progress rather than perfection, and recognize that setbacks are part of the process. What matters most is that you keep showing up day after day. In the end, your future isn't some distant destination you either stumble upon or miss out on. It's built moment by moment, choice by choice. The small actions you take today are the bricks laying the foundation for your tomorrow. When you commit to daily improvement, you harness the power of consistency, habit, and momentum to create a future that reflects your deepest goals and values. So start small. Take 1 meaningful action today, no matter how tiny, because every great future begins with the small actions you take right now.